This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, but rocking a beautiful Toronto background behind me on this it's now July 6th where I am, because I'm an hour ahead of my guest. Um, but he's still stuck in July 5th for a few moments. But but folks, here we are on July 6th, 2025, and rocking a beautiful Toronto background because I plan to be there late August for Fan Expo, which will be my first time attending that event. Folks, I have a five-time guest on here tonight. Actually, I think he's been on more than five times, but this is his fifth as a solo. So he might have been on one of the 13 fanboy compilations, but otherwise this is his fifth on as a solo, so this puts him in the five timers club. Folks, I give you the Bruins guy himself, Rob Mahoney. How do you do, Rob?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, doing fantastic.
This is my fifth solo, and I interviewed you once for your birthday.
Yeah, you did. That's right. You did.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah. I never did a 13 fanboy one, but
You were on one of those group ones?
no, I didn't do a group one. No,
Okay, okay. All right, okay. This works. So you're kind of like 5.1. Technically it's
five
six,
point.
but
Yeah, five
but
point one. Yeah,
I kind of look at it differently when it's uh the way I word it whenever I put it down. So yeah. Yeah. I started out tonight. Uh somebody criticized one of my interviews saying that they checked out after 15 minutes because all I talked about was Chloe Grace Moretz. And I was like, I interviewed somebody for the anniversary of Greta, which Chloe Grace Moretz and this guy was in. And I'm
yes,
like, well, had this person listened to the rest of the interview, you'd know I've moved on. But you know, um, Chloe was the star of the movie, so obviously I'm going to ask about her.
yep,
People love to bitch. They put down there it was cringe, and so I responded and I said, maybe I should have asked about you and make it cringe.
yep.
Yeah, some of these pricks have too much free time.
Oh, they do. They do.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I know you had a uh, what was it, a surgery or something recently?
I didn't have the surgery just yet. I put it off to do on an outpatient basis. But I was in the hospital for a week. A lot of digestive issues. But like Chucky said, you can't keep a good guy down.
Yeah. At least you weren't in that our shit hospital here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the nurse.
they probably
Yeah,
would have fired me.
well, the nurses here would have been taking all the warm blankets, the heated blankets, and they would have been wrapped up in them, playing on their phones, and then they would bitch and complain whenever they were rang by a patient. Yeah, I saw this on nightly basis at that shit house. So
Oh, I bet.
yeah, they fired me, but yeah, at work last night, I threw up at my first location of five, and I still did my job all night.
Nice.
Yeah, they fired somebody who actually shows up. Well, most of them at that fuck face fuckhole um make an excuse not to show up. So I don't care if they hear this at all, you know.
Yep.
It's a shithole. One of the back when pandemic happened, they had somebody die in the waiting room because they waiting so fucking long. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
so fuck them. But anyway, how are you anyway?
I've been doing good. Slowly working my way back into promoting. Got a couple of leads, and I don't know if you remember about 2 years ago, I did an apology video, um, talking about how like sometimes I'm a little hard to deal with, and I apologize to people like Jason Bradford, and
Yeah.
how that went. Me and Jason have been cool since. Well, a different thing just happened recently, where someone actually messaged me to apologize for calling me out once. And this is the guy I'm now promoting for. If you remember, he doesn't want me to mention his name, but if you remember the guy who used to do the promoting through GoFundMe instead of Indiegogo, he's contacted you a couple times.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he goes by three: a first name, a middle initial, and a last name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. So his buddy at the time, Will Colazzo. Yeah,
Hmm.
I did many videos about both of them. How since I didn't know Will personally, but I knew that he was associated with. We'll just call him Sean.
Oh, I know who you're
And
talking
so I
about.
did a
Yeah.
couple of videos about warning people. And Will had come at me a few times saying like, "I'm going to sue you," blah blah blah, defamation of character. Well, Will just messaged me about 7, 8 months ago, apologizing because he found out everything I said about him, Sean, was correct.
Hmm.
So, when he started promoting his new movie like 4 or 5 months ago, he goes, "Are you like retired for good, or do you have a couple more things left on you?" And I was like, so he got me intrigued, and he sent me the concept of his movie, and it's a sequel to one of his older movies, which I wasn't involved in. But now I'm back in the promoting game, promoting his movie, and he's giving me associate producer ranks, and he's gonna actually put me in a scene or two. So I'm gonna do my first acting gig, which is cool. The movie is called Camp Murder 2. It's a play on like the old slasher Friday the 13th type killer at the camp type movies, and so yeah, we just did a second Indiegogo, which we just got the funds to actually make the movie now. So production should be starting soon, and it's good to get back into the promoting game because I haven't done anything in a couple years. So I'll keep everybody up to date on Can't Murder 2 and the progression and my first acting role, not starring role, acting
Yeah. Well, I know you and I have a few things in common with past jobs being assholes, but
role.
we seem to be progressing with jobs that appreciate us a lot better, So
Yeah,
yeah. So I've seen your pics, when you're in the lunchroom at work. You seem happier. They seem to like you, so that's good news.
Oh yeah, that I have a good working relationship with a lot of my coworkers. In fact, in the section I work in, which is cashiering, I'm pretty much the go-to when it comes to like people asking for advice, and because I work with a lot of younger kids. I'm now 53. There are
Oh,
two or
you're
three people older.
53. I'm gonna turn
Yep,
53 in 2 days.
nice. Yep, I seen that. And so most of the people I work with, I say 90% of the cashiers are like 25 or younger. So, they always look to me for someone to talk to. They always look to me for someone almost to stick up for them. Because I'm at the point in my life that, I'm not going to let jobs push me around anymore. And I'm not going to let jobs push anyone else around. So I'm kind of like the martyr. When there's something wrong, I'm the one that speaks up about it. And so they look to me as I would say, kind of like a leader. So it feels good to have people, who trust me to talk to them to if they're upset or depressed, or they confide in me a lot. So it's good to be in that kind of role too, as someone that's trustworthy and someone that can help them along.
Yeah, I got screwed up on our dates. I guess it's July 7th right now, not the 6th.
Yeah, well, it's July 7th right now here. It just turned 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm an hour ahead of you guys. Nobody knows where we are here, Atlantic Canada, but
Yeah,
we're all under the same government shit show here. So, yeah,
yeah. I, I
yeah.
think I just posted about that maybe a week or so ago about how I can't understand why people judge people by their beliefs in the political system. And
I've had it happen to me recently.
yeah,
I've had people cut me off because of how I got accused of pushing my right wing ranting, and I'm like, I'm not pushing any ranting. I put posts on here exposing the mainstream media here in Canada that's bought and paid for by the Liberal government.
yeah,
So obviously they're biased, and there's a lot of people in the film industry here that yeah, that's their bread and butter, I guess you can say that. So they defend it, despite the fact that our country's been in the shits since 2015 when one asshole, as Kevin O'Leary puts it, the idiot king, I like to call Justine Trudeau, got
yeah,
into office. And
yeah,
now he's out and we got Marxist Carnival, as I like to call him, who I don't know what he's doing in there because I don't. He might have been born in Canada, but he spent all of his time either in the U.S. or Europe. But I think he's trying awfully hard to connect us with China, and yeah, that's not good. So yeah, I've come under fire on that. Here's what I find funny. I got told I'm alienating myself from people from the convention scene, which, considering what I'm fighting against, I don't care if I'm alienating these people or not. Um, if they're all for uh, safe supply drugs or or criminals being let out on bail to as repeat offenders, and stuff like that,
yeah,
or the houseless, like sending all this fucking income over to Ukraine and all that shit. Like how about fixing our own backyard before we start helping fix other countries?
yeah.
You know?
Oh, I agree.
However, yeah. But however, when I see somebody posting stuff, and somebody put a post the other day and saying that they agreed Trump should send more people over to Iran to fight. They said send over all the straight white men, not the DEIs and blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, motherfucker, I'm getting
Yeah,
so damn sick and so tired of being trash talked because I'm straight and white.
yeah,
And yeah, it's like the only way these signaling fuckheads can uh satisfy themselves is to, I mean, the past is the past. All you
yeah.
can do is move forward, not make the same ones. But not these people. No, no, let's go back and make all new mistakes. Let's trash all the white people and we'll feel better, you know? So I don't
Yeah, I
put,
miss the old days, man. The old day, like when I grew up, my dad was very political, but
hmm
he wasn't the type that would bash you just because you had different thinking. He wouldn't agree with it, but he was the type of guy that would have a good talk to you, like say, hey, tell me what you think, blah blah blah, and I'll tell you what I think. But they would always find some kind of common ground. Now today's you can't even discuss anything. If you even say one thing, like you said that you've been criticized, if you post one thing on your Facebook, oh my God, here comes the blockers and I'm gonna block you, even though I've known you forever. It's 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 ridiculous because when we're taught about politics as young people, they say it's your right to vote, it's your right to vote for who you want, and but nowhere did it say in parentheses, oh, you can vote who you want, but if you do, I'm not gonna like you anymore. It's that just started, I would say 15, 20 years ago
Yeah.
when people would get affected by who you voted. And that needs to stop. That shit really just needs to stop. We can always find some kind of common ground if we rationalize and talk about it. But there is no rationale when it comes to, and I hate to point the finger, but especially when it comes to the left side, they they don't have any rationale. And I'm not a right winger. So this is coming from I stay in the middle. And I get criticized by both on that one. Well, if you stay in the middle, then if left wins, you can't say that you voted, and if the right wins, you can't say that you. It's like I don't want to. I don't care who's in office, as long as I have breath in my lungs and I'm still allowed to walk around uh, as a human being. It's when I look at this left wing, right wing, it's
Hmm.
like we're arguing about someone that's going to be in office 4 to 8 years at tops.
Yep.
And then the next 4 to 8 years will be someone else. And then the other side can complain. And then 4 to 8 years, the other, it's like, it's an ongoing process. And I'm at my, I'm at 53 years old, like I said. I'm at my point of my life that I just want to enjoy what time I have left without worrying about uh, cancel culture and oh, if you voted for him, you're a racist. If you voted for them, you're against the gays. If you voted for it's all bullshit. Like I think back to George Carlin. George Carlin said it best. Politics was put there to keep people separated at all times. And I see it at my workplace. I see there are a few people that are very political at my workplace. Rob, what do you think? I have no comment. That's exactly what I say. I stay out of politics. I stay out of religion. I take care of me, my family, my friends, my loved ones, as long as they don't bring up putting me on the spot and what side am I taking? I'm taking my spot, Rob's spot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where we are. And
Yeah.
I've never cut anybody off. I've had
No,
people cut me off and they
I've
see
had
this.
people take words that I said out
Yeah.
of context and they try to put me in a box. I'm like, no, 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 no. You read too much into what I said. If you want to know what I think, just ask me. I may answer you, and then I may say, "Hey, I'm not getting involved in that." But
Yeah.
but you have to respect my opinion because I respect yours.
Yeah. No, that is the key. And they talk about tolerance, but I'm not seeing it on
Yeah,
no. However, it's not going to stop me from traveling to Toronto, enjoying a con. So, um, I think I may only do one because the one I usually go to, the roster so far doesn't look that appealing to me. So,
that right, Mayor, in the policy talking about.
yeah, yeah. Last year it started out, they announced Richard Dreyfuss, Sam Raimi, and Tony Todd. Tony
Yeah,
Todd unfortunately passed, and
yeah,
the other two canceled. But I still went and I had fun. I met Tracy Savage and met Suzanne Snyder. I met various people.
yeah. I was listening to your Tracy Savage interview the other day.
What's that?
I was listening to your last Tracy Savage interview the other day.
Yeah. No, I had a great time meeting her, you know. And unlike Judy Aronson, I didn't stalk her. I'm still gonna bring that up because I still think it's deplorable and laughable, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a great meet with Tracy Savage, and but this year it's like they got six announced right now, and there's only one that really appeals to me, and I've met this person before, and that's Bill Moseley. But I
Oh, I
mean,
love Bill. I when I met Bill, I was literally starstruck. Even though outside of the industry, outside of horror, Bill Moseley's not a huge name. I mean, he's done other things besides horror, but he's royal. He's royalty in horror. But when
well,
I met him,
yeah,
I go all the way back to Texas Chainsaw 2, Chop Top, and Chop Top and his character in The House of Thousand Corpse have always been my two favorite
I
characters.
liked him
So
best in Devil's Rejects.
I did
That,
like him in
yeah,
Devil's Rejects, but I'm saying that series of House of Thousand Corpse, Devil's Rejects, and even Three from Hell.
hated
I
Three
didn't
from
find it,
Hell.
huh?
I hated Three from Hell.
I liked Baby's character. I thought Baby's character was really the star of the show.
Well,
Bill Moseley, his talents were wasted in Three from Hell,
my big issue with
unfortunately.
Three from Hell is that number one, it was totally unnecessary. They
Yeah,
ended Devil's Rejects perfectly.
yeah.
They didn't need to make Three from Hell. So they did, and they
Well, from what
made,
I understand from Bill, it wasn't that they wanted to do it. They were trying to please the fan base who did want a third movie.
of course.
And
You mean the
yeah,
ones that want Robert Englund to still play Freddy Krueger
yes,
when he's on his
that's the same.
deathbed, or
Yeah,
the ones who want Bruce Campbell
I
to
did a video on that.
still
I did
play
a video.
Ash, you know? I'm
Yeah,
getting tired of these people and they're fucking whining, you know? I'm gonna say as far as
they
Evil
want to
Dead
keep
goes,
these franchises going forever,
yep.
and there's no need for it. Like we have newer franchises that that we can still like the whole Terrifier series is a great new series, but we want to keep rehashing Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface. It's like even the Hammer creature, the Hammer monsters finally had to retire. Like, yes, they still bring back Dracula every so often, but they don't throw him down our throats every year.
Well,
And
look what
that's what
happened to
these,
the Halloween franchise. The
yeah.
Halloween ends to me, I can't watch it. Like it was
I, I
detestable where they went with that.
I didn't like where they went with it, but I did like the Corey character. Uh,
I didn't like the Corey character. That's the problem. He did not belong in the movie. And then
but
when
if they
Jamie
were
Lee,
gonna build, honestly, if they were gonna build up the Corey character as kind of like taking over the series, which they kind of did, they shouldn't have killed him. So by killing him, it confused me why he was the center of the movie.
well, the thing is,
Yeah,
you know, is Jamie Lee Curtis had said, you know, fans were going to be divided on this movie. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm making a movie, I'm thinking, how can I draw in the most fucking viewers? Not
yeah.
how can I divide the fucking fan base, you know? That kind of defeats what you're doing.
I
And
have to admit, when I did
yeah,
see Halloween Ends at the theater, I was confused because halfway through the movie, we see Michael maybe one time, and I'm like, I thought this was a movie called Halloween. Like, I get it. Michael's supposed to be elderly now. He's still beat up from the
well,
the
they
the
just
second
made a dumb
Halloween
movie,
movie.
is what they did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jeepers, Halloween Ends makes me want to watch Halloween Resurrection, if you can imagine that.
yes.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded if they went into a different direction, like with the Corey character. If they wanted to make him take over for Michael, and then call it something different next. It wouldn't be a Halloween movie anymore. It would just be a continue, like kind of like what they did with Rocky, and they made the Creed movies, and Rocky was there, but something similar in that idea. Call it something else. But like I said, when they gave Corey the reign to run this movie, and then they kill him, it threw me off, and I'm like, why did we get this Corey lore? Why did we get him killing the kid as a babysitter? Why did we hate him through the whole movie because of the things he did? And then you're just gonna kill him. It's huh? Why? And I agree with Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, people were divided because of that. It was more confusion than anger that Michael Myers wasn't the main character. It was confusion. And you're right. It makes me want to revisit Halloween Resurrection again. At least Halloween Resurrection told us, hey, we're going to fuck up this movie, but Michael's still going to be in it.
Well, going back to what you said before, though, fans they can't let go of Robert Englund. They can't let go of Bruce Campbell. I got this is gonna sound sacrilegious to say, but I enjoyed Evil Dead Rise more than the other Evil Dead movies.
I like
I
that.
loved
I liked Evil Dead Rise. I went to see
I
that.
did too. I loved that it was set in a high rise, something like Demons 2. People were saying it's woke because there's a female lead. No, it wasn't woke. And I thought she was awesome,
Yeah,
but
she
no,
was great.
they were looking for Bruce Campbell, and it's like fuck off,
Yeah.
It's like what Bruce Campbell would be what 90 years old, and they'd still expect him to play Ash. It's just there's
Yeah.
no satisfying these people.
No.
So yeah, it's
You know, we got Ash versus Evil Dead, which is I love that series, but now people are clamoring for a new season, and Bruce Campbell basically said, if there's going to be a new season, it's not going to be with me. Yeah. How long can you play a character for? Like Robert Englund has told people several times, I'll come back to do funny bits about, like, he was in the Goldbergs,
yeah.
the TV series, and he played Freddy Krueger. Yeah, it's for like one scene. He's not in the physical condition to play Freddy Krueger in a whole movie again.
You can't
But
tell
these
these
fans,
you can't tell these
can't
fans
let
that.
go. Yeah,
Yeah,
they can't let go.
yeah. So
Ridiculous.
I find it upsetting, and then you get filmmakers like David Gordon Green, whose response to that is to make Halloween ends, where it's basically trolling the audience.
Yeah,
So yeah, and it's like get away from the film if you're going to do that.
yeah,
Either make like first off, I would have kept the brother sister thing as part of it, and I would have had it continue after Halloween 2,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Exactly. Why get rid of the best sequel? In fact, I'm
Yeah,
going to go on record right now. I think Halloween 2 is better than Halloween.
I don't think so.
I think the soundtrack is so much better than the first one. The suspense about the hospital setting is terrific. I love hospital movies. There's something scary that we don't talk about when you go to, like, all right, I was just in the hospital recently, and hospitals are still unsettling to be in, even
Well,
though you know,
our hospital will be unsettling if I enter it again. I'll tell you that
yeah,
for
if you ever
different
ended up
reasons.
there, it'll be definitely unsettling.
Yeah, they'll be
But
unsettled. I'll
there's
tell you
something
that.
about that hospital setting, and I think that's why Rob Zombie brought back in his Halloween 2. I think that's
Mhm.
why he had that one scene where they brought back the hospital setting to kind of pay homage to Halloween 2. And I'm not saying it's a better movie. I just think it's better paced than Halloween. Um,
Um,
my my interest was, but like you said, when they cut out Halloween all together and said, Oh, they're not. That was just a rumor. They're not brother and sister. That totally turned me off. Like,
Yeah,
why? Why do we have to change the law?
yeah, because they had a lot of idiots behind it that just wanted to do what they wanted, and they didn't care what the fan base
Yeah,
thought. Now, I'm playing devil's advocate because I just criticized the fan base over casting people over and over and over. Um, this is an area where it comes down to screenplay. A little different
yeah,
story there, you know. So it wasn't. I've got Halloween 2018. I got Halloween Kills on Blu-ray. I couldn't bring myself to get ends. I was like, you know what? It's just not setting with me.
yeah,
And Kills kind of brought me down on the ending. They should not have killed off one particular character at the end of
yeah.
it.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Yep. I mean, let's just face it. The Andy Matichak character, her character, she already lost her father.
Yeah,
Why lose her mother as well? It's like these fucking idiots don't think about this when they write this stuff. It's just like,
no,
well, let's see how clever we can be. No, they're being morons.
yeah.
You know, she should have at least kept her mom, Judy Greer. Okay, it's spoiler
No, I
alert, but
agree.
I don't give a shit. But what they should have done after the beatdown with Michael, you know,
I thought Judy
like
Greer's character was great.
well, what I would have done is after he does his attack back, you know, I don't know what happened where he gets cut down again, but I would have him just disappear on the spot, like he'd be
Yeah,
gone, you know. Another thing I didn't like in Kills, and this was a massive glaring mistake. You had no scenes between Sheriff Brackett and Laurie Strode, and you would
yeah,
think that might be fucking important.
yeah.
Like, like
They
seriously.
brought back all these legacy characters, and they wasted that opportunity.
I like what they did with Kyle Richards.
Yeah,
Yep. I like what they did with her. And then in the third movie, she appears in like a scene playing with tarot cards for whatever reason. And it's like they didn't know what they're fucking doing.
no. Did you
So
like
I get,
did
yeah.
you like the Anthony Michael Hall move to make him
Yeah,
did you like like casting him?
I did, and I'll tell you why. I don't know what was going on with Brian Andrews, but Anthony Michael Hall is at least um I know Halloween came out in 78, but 2 through 5 came out in the 80s. Anthony Michael Halls is an 80s actor. You know, he was
Yeah.
in like your the John Hughes movies and whatnot. So I actually liked seeing him in this. I think he added to it. But so I did like that. And I like the fact that he was the last one Michael took out in that that beating. But
Yeah.
I again, spoiler alert, I don't care now. You know, I would have left Judy Greer alone because it's like I said, Matichak already lost one parent. But this
Yeah.
is just an area where they don't know what they're doing because they're fucking idiots. And people say, well, Greg, could you do better? Yeah, I could do fucking better.
Yeah.
I could do fucking better. You know, number one, uh, I wouldn't use the pandemic or whatever as a fucking excuse to render things into the future. I would have had all 3 movies take place that one night. And at
Yeah.
the
No,
end
I
of
agree with that.
yep, the end of Halloween ends. That's when the dawn is coming up, you know, and you know, whether Jamie Lee Curtis survives, if you're gonna kill Jamie Lee, that's Laurie Strode, fine. But I think Judy Greer and Andy Matichak should have still remained, and he
Yeah,
did. But Judy Greer, I that kind of bothered kind that was a sore spot, like a fly in the soup of Halloween Kills for me when they did that.
yeah.
Because it was going fine up until that happened. And I was like, you know what? Unnecessary. Didn't need it. So, but the opening scene and the burning house there with the firemen and whatnot, that was all great.
You
You
know,
know,
and,
and
and here's the other thing I hear from Halloween fans. Oh, you can still keep making Michael Myers movies. How? They cut him up in a fucking blender at the end.
oh
Like,
well, a lot of people right now they want to do and this is they want to do something with Jamie Lloyd or something. I'm
yeah,
fine if I'm fine if they do something with Season of the Witch. Okay, let's go
but
that
but
direction.
think about it, Greg. How hard is it now to explain? Like, say you have a friend and he's never seen any Halloween movie ever. So of
Hmm.
course you saw him in on the basics, the beginning. You let him watch the sequels. Now all of a sudden here comes Rob Zombie's version. You have to tell him this ain't your typical Michael Myers movies. This is a different one. Then you got the Halloween Kills, and the Halloween Ends, and the timeline for the Halloween series is all over the place.
Yeah,
So now if you make a Jamie Lloyd one, now you're going back in time again. It that you would never be able to explain to a new person how this all works.
I'll take this another direction too. I'm getting tired of hearing, well, this person, like, I got two examples of this. Number one, Alice and Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
I interviewed Adrienne King once. I haven't been able to get her back on here, but anyway, I mentioned to her, her, the Alice's body is seen in the shack in Friday the 13th, part two.
yeah,
Yep. And she says, so they say, and blah, 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 blah. And then Vincent DeSante and a bunch of them made this fucking stupid fan film. I don't think Vincent DeSante directed it, but it was a fucking stupid fan film where they brought back Alice,
yeah,
and blah blah. And I'm like, okay, Adrian King was stopped during after Friday the 13th.
yeah,
So she made the decision that she wanted Alice killed off so she could get out of the spotlight.
yeah,
Sorry it happened. I wish she wasn't stalked. I wish she was around to do more movies. But plainly as it is, that's what happened. And
yeah,
she stepped away. She did voice work. Okay. Um, for me, I don't want to hear, well, Alice can come back now. No, Alice can't fucking come back now.
yeah. She was
She got a
killed.
she got an ice pick jammed into her fucking skull. Quit with this fucking soap opera bullshit, bringing people back. Oh, I had amnesia, blah blah blah. Mom used to watch
Yeah,
that crap growing up, and it was the same fucking thing. And Alice was killed.
yeah,
Accept it, and fucking move on. You want to bring back a heroine from Friday the 13th? Good. There's quite a few of them that survived. Do that.
yeah,
But if Adrian King still wants to do movies, I'm all open for it. Quit with the fucking Alice Hardy bullshit. She
yeah.
got a nice pick jammed in her head. That is her. You can even see the same type of
Well,
bathrobe
if
on her.
if you remember the movie Misery, uh, the character Annie Wilkes had brought up about Chapter Place
Hmm.
and how she would get pissed off when you know the car went off the bridge and everybody died, and then she would go see it next week, and miraculously someone jumped out of that same car, and what did she say? She goes, "That didn't happen. I Do you all have amnesia? She didn't get out of the cock a doodle car." That's the same thing that people want to do to these legacy characters.
Yeah,
They want to pretend, Alice didn't really get it in the pick. It only scarred her a little bit. No,
yeah,
it went through her head. Like,
yeah. Even in that deleted cut scene, where it came out, I can't see somebody surviving that,
yeah,
But I'm sorry. You look at that and people have pointed it out. You can see
yeah,
the ice pick in the skull's head. You can see the same bathrobe right by Terry's body laying down there, and you can see the sheriff's body in the background and all that. You know, um, it's there.
yeah.
So my advice to Adrian King, try to find another property. Hell, Marie Taylor got into In a Violent Nature, which, quite frankly, I think was better than a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, personally.
No, I love it in Violent Nature. I know it's not for everybody because it is a slow burn.
Oh, I
But
met Rye
but if but
Bear Bear.
if you're gonna have a movie that's a slow burn, there better be a payoff. And oh boy, was there a payoff.
But let's
So,
go to the other example I want to give about people just flapping their fucking lips. And I don't care if they hear this, get pissed. Let them get fucking pissed. Now it's well, Matthew Lillard's character Stu didn't really die in
I did a video
Scream.
on this
Let's bring
already.
him, yeah, let's bring him back. He got a fucking TV that was like what, 5 times bigger than his fucking head, dropped
Yeah.
on his fucking face.
No, I did a video on this, so
Yeah.
I know what everything you have to say about this because
You
at
know what?
least at least with Billy Loomis, at least it was just a visual,
Yep,
like her thinking about him,
that
and
was
you see
fine.
his face. He wasn't walking around because he got killed.
But this is what gets me. And you know what? Matthew Lillard's had some payoff because he doesn't have to tie himself to Scream. He played a great Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah,
He was a great Shaggy. But I'm going to say this, look at Five Nights at Freddy's. Have you seen that?
no, I haven't seen Five Nights at
Okay,
Freddy's yet.
watch that and you'll have some very, very fucking fun Matthew Lillard. Okay?
All right.
You'll get some fun Matthew Lillard. And you'll know by the end of it why he got cast. Probably
Yeah.
because of Scream, but you'll know why he got cast. And when they make Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I'm hoping we see Lillard again.
Yeah.
But Matthew Lillard was fun in that movie, and I'm like, here's an example of a guy. They don't need to bring Stu back because holy fuck, he's got other ambitions where he can do other things and
Yeah.
still steal the film. So I get tired of hearing this. Bring this person back. Bring this person back. Oh,
Yeah.
that
People are
person
screaming for
didn't
Dewey to come
die.
back.
Huh?
Dewey died, but people want Dewey back. It's like,
Holy fuck. I can't, I do not like the Scream franchise. I respect the first one. I thought the fifth one, and I'm going to call it Scream 5, not Scream. It's fucking Scream 5. It's like,
yeah,
get the fuck over it. Scream 5. I thought Jenna Ortega uh, did more to breathe air into that franchise than
yeah,
anything in the last few sequels ahead of it. I But Jenna Ortega went on to make a far superior movie in X. Jenna's done great for herself, and she's very appealing. But
yeah.
I'm getting so tired of seeing characters get stabbed over and over and over and over and over again, and then carted out on a fucking ambulance with a breathing device on. That happened with the African American guy at the end of Scream 6. How
Yeah,
many times was he stabbed? I'm
a lot.
sorry. I'm checked out. I'm checked out. I don't care about Scream 7.
Well, how many times was Dewey like beat up through the
Dewey
whole
and
series, and they
Gale,
finally killed him?
yeah, Dewey and Gale. I'm so fucking sick and tired of it. It's
I
like,
thought Dewey was like Michael Myers for a while because, like, every time he gets stabbed, he's back again.
yeah, I mean, at least with the original Scream, you got a surprise of Drew Barrymore dying so quick, being killed
Yeah,
off so quick. You had Henry Winkler in there and whatnot, but I Scream 2, 3, and 4, shit.
yeah,
Scream 6, shit. Scream 5, at least you got Jenna Ortega, but I can think of better movies she was in, X being one, you
yeah,
know. But I mean, even Scream 4, they talk about Emma Roberts. Well, I've seen Emma Roberts in better stuff. Look at The Hunt, for example.
yeah.
But yeah, but I'm tired of the Scream franchise. Such bullshit. I mean, they had Samara Weaving killed at the beginning of that, and I'm like, tell you what, you want to see Samara Weaving, watch her in Ready or Not, then you'll see a far better movie,
Yeah.
and you can see what she can do. But the Scream franchise is just like I don't even know. I think I'm checked out after Scream 6.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna even go check out Scream 7.
you know. I mean, they introduced Nev Campbell's Sydney character, and they show her with a
That's the
baby
only thing
carriage and
to me.
stuff.
That's the
And
only thing that could save the Scream franchise is if they make Nev Campbell the killer in 7.
well, they had her pushing a baby carriage and stuff. It's like, I got a good idea. Leave the baby out of it, leave the husband out of it, because none of it's fucking important to this movie,
Yeah,
you know? And it's like they slap this on, and it's so generic.
like Sidney Campbell finally has cracked,
Well, you want
and
me to tell you something? I had an argument with somebody at one of the cons. Didn't like the fact that I thought Sydney Prescott was a horrible final girl. I do. I think Sydney
yeah,
Prescott is a shitty final girl. A final girl is a female that survives and does it on her own.
yeah,
Yep. Ellen Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver in Alien,
yeah,
perfect example, you know. Um, There's other example, Heather Langenkamp and Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd throw in that,
yeah.
you know? Um, shit, I think that even Samara Weaving in Ready or Not, I'd even throw her in that because she had all the stacks against her until that twist.
Yeah.
And of course, going back to Scream, Jamie Kennedy spouts off all these rules. Mia Goth broke every fucking single one of them in hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, to me, I think Jamie Kennedy's rules more applied because he was, they were watching Halloween at the time. I
Hmm.
think when he was talking about the rules, he was talking about the 80s rules,
Yeah.
the rules to survive an 80s horror movie. He doesn't say that, but, you know, I think they mentioned when do we see Jamie Lee's breast? And he talks about how Jamie Lee was a virgin when it came to horror movies. You didn't get to see her breast until Trading Places. So I think, to me, anyways, I think his look on the rules were more 80s and 90s horror movies.
Oh, with Mia Goth, you saw everything.
Oh yeah, yeah, you saw everything.
I enjoyed X, and I have triumphed that
I
film.
still have yet to see Maxine because it's not on any
I
streaming
enjoyed
service.
Maxine, and I enjoyed Pearl.
I think Pearl might be my favorite of the two so far.
She should have had an Oscar nomination for that. There was a
Yes.
lot of talk about about that because she had a couple of she had a big long monologue scene towards the end of that movie that was no cuts. And then you
Yeah,
had that scene there with her emoting there at the end with her just on that the camera just on her and it's like the
yeah.
holding on her and it's like holy cow, this is getting freaky. So so yeah, I like a lot of that stuff. And I'll tell you another final girl I like is Jessica Rothe in Happy Death Day.
Yes, that was a good movie.
I really liked her in it because she ultimately everything pinned on her.
Yeah,
Yep. Um,
but
yeah.
just one more thing about the casual, we'll call them, horror fans. You know, they don't know when to let go of the reins and say, this has already run its course. Like Leatherface has been in the game since the early 70s, and people are still wanting more. It's like,
Well,
do you
here's the
realize it's
problem.
50 something years later?
You want
Like,
me to tell you what the problem is? Is
yeah,
people don't want to make a good movie. I mean,
yeah,
Black Christmas, the original Black Christmas was one of my favorites.
yeah,
Then they made that pitiful 2006 film.
yeah,
But hey, that film looks like Oscar gold alongside that virtual signaling fucking bullshit that came out in 2019 that slapped the title Black Christmas on. That film
yeah.
was garbage.
Well, they made the last Texas Chainsaw woke.
Oh, did they? I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
the 2022 one. There's a line that says, "Dude, you're gonna get canceled." And he says that to Leatherface, and I'm sitting there going, "There's a guy with a chainsaw, and this is the best quote you can come up with. You're gonna get canceled, bro." What? Who wrote this? Who approved that line in the script?
I've had one person in over the past year told me that told me I was going to get canceled, and I'm still waiting to get canceled. People sit
And
behind a
people have
keyboard and they
tried to
run their
cancel me for years now, and I'm still around.
yeah, they like to run their dick lickers, you know. Those were the ones that were these mouth breathers that were running around telling on you if you didn't wear a mask during the pandemic. And by the way, if the pandemic comes back, I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not getting the shots. I'm not doing any of that because
Hey, the Bruins guy was invented in the pandemic. You
well,
didn't see me. You didn't see him with the mask on either.
our former dickhead prime minister Trudeau made off with a lot of money due to all this shit. And he stepped down. He stepped down comfortably.
You know what?
I did my taxes and at the end of April, and I owed $2,800. I got it down to 2K right now, but I'm like, I work two jobs. How the fuck do I owe $2,800? And yet you got people sitting on their fucking ass, abusing the fucking system, or these
Yeah,
people out there getting their safe injections, as they like to call it, meth addict fuckheads that claim to be homeless, but they're really just a bunch of drug addicts that are all over the place and being a nuisance. And yet
yeah,
we're throwing money away. Look, I mean, I'm sorry there's a war going on over in Ukraine and whatnot, but before you start throwing millions and millions and billions of dollars over there, how about fixing fixing your own fucking backyard?
yeah.
We have a homeless situation here. We have too many people coming into the country, and even worse, we got too many people coming into the country that aren't vetted. We have a drug issue in this country, and oh gee, everything else.
Yeah.
Take care of it. You're in power. Take fucking care of it. No, no, no. We got a virtue signal and throw money over here.
Mhm.
So I
like
had,
with me, Greg.
yeah,
Um, During the pandemic, everybody. I mean, I when I went to work, I followed the rules because I was part of we're touching
yeah.
people's food. I get it, but
I
everybody
won't do
kept
it
saying,
again.
well, Rob, you're diabetic. You're in the line of fire of this. You know what? I never got it once. I
Neither
never
did
got
I.
no because a diabetic was considered super high risk. And like you, I worked in an essential place. I never got it. You know why? Because I was smart about it. It's not, I didn't walk around with mask all the time. When I left work, I took the mask off. Did I get it? No. And you know what? When we grew up as kids, our parents told us, you're a kid. You're going to get these illnesses. You're going to get sicknesses, but it actually is good for you because it teaches your body how to fight things. Where did that go?
Well, today
Everybody wants
it's
to super protect each other, but what
today it's
happens?
the
What
government
happens if
and
someone gets a violent
pharmaceuticals making
illness now?
money.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What happens when someone gets a violent illness? They're not going to know. Their body's not going to know how to fight it because we're too worried about catching it in the first place. Uh, it,
Yeah.
the whole pandemic thing confused me. There were so many people that we have to do it this way, and then next week, oh no, it's not that way. It's this way. Oh no, no, the CDC changed it again. It's like just I just said fuck it. I don't know who to listen to. I don't know, and I got criticized by my family. I did, but a lot of other people in my family got it. Guess who didn't? Me. So,
What projects are you working on now? Let's talk about that. That's a positive.
um, well, like I said, I was working on Can't Murder 2, which I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
have my first movie role in, which is cool. Uh, there's a couple of movies I'm promoting for that I'm not actually just getting credit for. I'm just doing it just for fun now at this point. I like the credits, but I like helping out people too. There's a small short film called Sam's Web. It's about a serial killer and a rapist who it was a real serial killer in real life named Sam Little who killed more people than any other serial killer in the world. Over 93, I believe. Uh, and Sam Webb is directed by Cindy Sanabria, who used to be friends with our good friend Amy Crabtree.
Oh,
Yeah, but
yeah.
they're not friends anymore. Um,
Oh,
but so Cindy let me watch her her final cut. It's very intriguing, very raw, and very unusual for a female director to take on a topic like murder and rape. So it's very in depth. It talks about kind of like what brought him to the level of just wanting to kill people. Um, very dark movie. I'm also promoting for my buddies over at Vortex Radio. They're all my buddies that used to be with the past station I was at. I'm not allowed to mention their name because she likes to try to watch videos and sue people. Anyways, uh, Vortex Radio has grown now to several shows now, some videos, some radio. There's a heavy metal station on it. There's Saturday morning cartoon TV on it. Has a Western show on it. Has car repair. Has a little bit of everything. The Vortex AV, you can download it on your app on your app store. Uh, and there's something for everyone every single day. And when there is no show, it's a 24-hour radio station. So they'll play stuff when there's no shows uh, going around, and it's a mixture of everything. 50s, 60s, rock, rockabilly, a little bit of everything for everybody. So, give those guys a listen to. What else am I working on? Just my YouTube station now. I'm doing a lot of movie reviews, short ones. Because I find that the short videos get distributed better but with YouTube than longer videos.
Hmm.
So I try to keep it under 3 minutes. I also do lip syncing, which people seem to love. I'm getting a lot of people asking for requests now, which I didn't expect that to happen, but it's fun. The newest thing I'm working on is Ozzy tribute
Yeah.
because Ozzy just retired yesterday. Was his final show,
Hmm.
and I just did a video today doing like my tribute to Ozzy, and I'll admit it, I teared up because you know as a troubled child, I look to horror movies and metal music as my outlets, and Ozzy was one of the guys I used to listen to a lot. So to see him all frail now and doing his last show and saying goodbye at the end, and he even teared up, which made me tear up more. Yeah, but I just did a whole video on that, like a 15-minute thank you video to Ozzy. Not that he'll ever see it, but maybe someone will send him the video, and maybe one day I'll get a like from him. Who knows? But yeah, I'm just working on a lot of my YouTube stuff now, and if anybody is looking for a promoter, I'm available. I'm back in the game a little bit, so but I'm not really promoting a lot of stuff as far as getting credit for it, but I am always willing to help people who are newer in the industry and I'm still that controversial figure. I'll tell you the do's and don'ts of how to get involved in something because there are
Hell yeah.
still people out there. Well, you know this. There's still people out there that just want your money,
Yep.
and it's sad.
Go to any cons this year?
I didn't. I was hoping to before my illness, I was starting to save for Terracon, which is going to be coming up in October. I still may try to get to that, but there's another one called Silver Screams that has just emerged. I think it's going to be in November, so
Who's going
I
to be at
haven't got
that?
to see who's on the bill yet. But
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Chiller just announced Randy Quaid, and I'm like, I wouldn't mind doing Chiller again. I'm nervous about the tariff situation, though.
yeah, but yeah, you told me about that because I had contacted you about getting Mallory Knox's autograph.
Yeah.
I want more
Um,
than Mallory Knox's autograph, but I have to
well,
think
here's the thing.
realistically.
I ordered about a month ago, I ordered an autographed picture of Barbara Eden off her website.
Yeah.
And I got it, but I got notification for to pick it up at the post office. When I got there, $70 tariff.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. It makes me wonder if I go over there for Chiller, and I mean, last time was at Chiller, I got 21 autographs and plus some memorabilia at the vendors. How much is that? Would that be for tariff?
I mean,
That makes me a bit
you would be
nervous.
bringing it back, so I don't know what the tariffs would be the same than a meal service, but maybe it was because it was mailed that you got the tariffs. You'd have to investigate that because I don't know what the do's and don'ts about bringing stuff back from America.
Yeah, because Chiller had a great lineup this past April, and I wouldn't mind. They announced Randy Quaid, and I'm like, this sounds promising. But like I said, another thing I'm hearing is that again, I got no issue with somebody checking my luggage or whatever. I'm not dealing with a situation where somebody's going to take my phone or I'm putting a holding cell or whatever the fuck it is they're doing. I'm
Yeah.
hearing stories about that. Now, I don't know how relevant it is, but I don't mind answering their questions or opening my suitcases or luggage or whatever. What I'm not going to do is be bullied. And I prefer a hassle-free fucking trip. Stuff like this makes me nervous, you
Yeah,
know? And I know the trade deals between Trump and Carney have been disastrous. And I
yeah,
blame, look, whether people hate Trump or not, and I'm not a Trump guy, but I'm blaming Trudeau and Carney on this one. Because all they had to do was fix the border, take care of the fentanyl situation, and illegals coming
yeah,
in and out. That's all they had to do. But no, they had too much fucking pride to do that.
yeah.
You
That's some
know?
scary shit, fentanyl, man.
Yep. But they don't care. They're the ones that are going to preach to us about climate change while they're jetting around in their big gas-powered jets and this and that. They're going to
Yeah,
fucking preach to us. There's this new thing they're saying they want all gas-powered vehicles gone by 2035 and replaced by EV. And I'm like, how is that going to work, especially where I am?
yeah,
But you get stupid people in offices, stupid people making stupid decisions. You get a mainstream media here that spews it in their favor because they're being paid to do so. You get a bunch of these so-called elbows up shills that'll believe everything they're told. Me, I
yeah.
listen to independent media. That's where I get my news because I don't trust mainstream anymore. So I don't know. Fan Expo might be my one and done this year. If it is, then fine. I'm going to go and I'm going to have some fun with it. I got my ticket. I'm just kind of seeing who else is going to come in and out of there, and um, I'm going to at least get a couple of photo ops, and there's some people I want to meet on that's going to be there. So I'm going to go and enjoy.
I still love Valerie Knox's
You
autograph.
know
But
what? If we can make that work, I'll see what I can do. But I don't know what it's going to be like if I tried to mail that to you.
that's what
That'd be
I'm gonna investigate that to see
investigate it.
how much is
Investigate it.
from Canada to America, because
Now
you
the
got something
autograph,
from America to Canada, so I wonder if the charges are the same shipping out.
I don't know. I know that the autograph is $100, which I can do that. I mean, that's not as frightening as some. So it's $100,
Yeah, how
I
much
guess,
is Michael J.
Canadian,
Fox?
300.
Wow.
So is Ewan McGregor.
But like you said, that you don't mind it because of the cause that it goes to too.
Well, I can deal with that. Michael J. Fox, I have some sympathy for. But here's the thing with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd's up there in his 80s as well. And it's kind of like it's very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
And it's like I probably should do this, have those two. But I'm hearing that they're not doing photos and selfies at their table. And I'm like, so see, this is what I get, and I wish they would be more clear about this.
Yeah.
I like the way to go up, select a photo off their table, get them to sign it. And, I pay for it, get them to sign it and pay for the combo so I can get a selfie with them. And I don't know why it's going to be so fucking complicated. But I'm hearing from some one of the cosplayers that works at these that Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, I think you have to do it all pre. And
Oh
I'm like,
wow.
yeah, I'm kind of like, but it is nostalgic.
Yeah.
Another one, William Shatner, I met at Chiller and I got an autograph picture for my brother Andrew, who watches Skittles while I'm gone. I
Yeah. Where are
think
Skittles, anyways?
I'll get him. I'll get him in a minute. William Shatner, though, is 94 years old, so it's kind of like I kind of think I want an autograph picture. I'll find Skittles. Here, Skittles. Skittles. Skittles, the presence is needed. Skittles. Everybody loves my kitty cat. Yes, everybody loves my
Hello's
kitty.
tuning in
The
right now.
Bruins guy wants to
Braden's
see
gonna
my
get Skittles
kitty.
for us.
Everybody wants to see my kitties.
Skittles!
Skittles. Skittles is like, why are you doing this? I'm embarrassed. Skittles, that's a Bruins
Hi,
guy.
Skittles.
See? Skittles is like, does he
Yeah.
have treats?
Skittles has to be, you have to have a contract that he has to appear at least one time in the video.
Skittles?
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that. Skittles, what's that look for? You stay
Like,
here
what
for
the
free.
hell? Do I have to be on every video?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You
Yep.
have to be in every single video.
Yep.
Skittles wants to know if you have treats.
I wish.
He doesn't have treats.
When I
Uh-oh.
work at when I work at Home Depot, we only have dog treats because you never see
Skittles
someone bring a
is
cat in.
offended. Skittles is offended. He
They,
is
we
so
never see
offended.
we never see anybody bring their cat in. That's why we always see people bring their dogs in.
Skittles is offended. Skittles says, why do they have to bring him in? You're supposed to bring the treats to him because he's related to the King of Beast.
Yep, lion.
What's that
At
look
least
for,
it's not the
Skittles?
at least he's not related to the cowardly lion from Wizard of Oz.
Hi, buddy.
I put him up. Put him up.
Oh, he's a good kitty.
Yeah,
That's why I can do this stuff. He doesn't scratch or bite. He's a good cat. He
yeah.
knows he's taken care of. A lot of people love him. Hey, Skittles.
The other video I just watched recently, it was one of your older videos when you had uh, Brian Basalier on from
Yeah.
Social Distance.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
I
That
think
was
I
good.
was supposed to appear with him that day, if I remember. And I
Well, we
remember, I
did
think
get
I
we
was sick
did.
that time.
Yeah. Well, we did get you. So, and I had Vernon Wells on too.
Yeah.
Vernon, I met Vernon at Horrorama, the very first Horrorama I did with Lisa Langlois, and he signed a picture from the Road Warrior with him. I keep telling him, I said, where's the hair? Where's the mohawk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't believe that series is still kind of going on a little bit here and there. Mad Max.
I liked Fury Road. I really liked
Yes, I
Fury
did. I
Road.
did too.
Yeah,
And then they just had like an offspring of the Mad Max. I can't remember the name of the movie.
I'm gonna see.
Uh, it was
I
last
just
year.
yeah, I just put, and I'm just kind of in the process of this. You say I have right now. That's probably not going to show. This is a big photo album, and it's got everything from Horrorama 2017 to Frightmare in the Falls 2022 or three, and it doesn't have all my autographs. I got to get more of these
Yeah.
books, but thought I would do these to keep my autos in check. But I have Vernon Wells in here somewhere. See if it shows up. No, shit, it's not.
That's okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get it to show up. Hmm. There he is,
Okay.
Vernon Wells, but you got Allison Williams from Human Centipede over there.
I've still yet to watch that movie.
I have never
Human,
watched it. I've never
Human
watched it.
Centipede.
I've never watched it. She was at Horrorama. It was her first, either her first convention, her first Canadian convention, and she just looked so stunning. I had to go over and meet her. But Vernon Wells, it says, Greg,
Who's the girl that you met that was in The Crow?
that I met,
Yeah,
Bai Ling.
Bei Ling.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
hilarious. She was great to meet.
yeah.
Yeah, it says, Greg, you can run, but you can't hide. Vernon Wells. So I've
I
got a
just
lot of folks.
rewatched. I just rewatched that movie. Speaking of running as well, Social Distance,
One.
and I caught something I didn't catch for all the years it's been out. I caught finally something that was different.
Which
You
one?
remember watching? If you remember watching that movie, uh,
Which
in
one?
Social Distance.
Yep.
So the ending, they basically gave away who spreaded the pandemic to the cruise ships, and I didn't even catch it. It was the girl that played Lexi Moran. At the end, she talks about how she's the daughter of the Oracle of the seventh Revelation,
Mm-hmm.
and I was thinking, I'm like, holy shit, she was in on it the whole time. That's how it got onto the cruise ships. Like I never put two and two together until until that last scene where she's like, then she goes, "Stay safe. We're all in this together." And I'm sitting there going, "That bitch, that was her the whole time that spread it." That's why
Yep.
she never cared about when they had their little team meetings. She was kind of off in La La Land every time that they had little get-togethers.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there go, "Wow, I've watched this like 20 something times now, and I just realized she was the one that was behind the whole thing."
There we are.
Sorry for anyone I just spoiled the movie for, by the way.
Oh well. Anyway, you have anything else you want to plug and promote?
No, I actually have three channels now for YouTube. I have
Mhm.
the um, Mahoney Massacre, which I do a lot of my movie reviews on. I do a lot of horror movies, old school trailers. I have the World of Father Mahoney, which I do a lot of my lip sync videos. I do a lot of TV themes, some tribute, and I just added a brand new channel called Terra 81 Promotions,
Mm-hmm.
which was inspired by me promoting again. So I'm gonna start posting um, movies that I'm working on, movies I'm interested in, movies that could use a little attention here and there. So that's that's a brand new station. I only have like 9 subscribers, so I'm gonna you post this next year, and then when I spread this word around, I'm actually gonna put the link for our Terra 81, so you guys can join and keep up to date on the newest and independent horror. And yes, I will still be the one that calls out people if I don't see something right. Um, I
You want
won't
me
be
to tell you
quite
what I
as
think?
harsh as I used to be because it got me in trouble more times than not.
Yeah.
But I will
Well,
still look out for people.
you want me to tell you what I think you should start doing at cons?
But
And this is my advice to you. Go as the Bruins guy. Wear your Bruins jersey. Be the Bruins guy. Yeah, wear that
yeah,
when you go to the cons.
who knows? Maybe if it takes off, maybe I'll start a Bruins guy
Well,
YouTube.
you know what? The team, if they don't know about it, they gotta love it. Because I mean, that was just a casual thing you did. You just showed up there and you were wearing that blue Bruins thing. But I mean, it
Yeah.
was all positive, you know. But I well,
Oh
I
yeah,
do
I
admire
reached
you.
out to them because someone's like, well, they should give you like tickets or something like that for bringing
Hmm.
positivity because we were starting the whole pandemic and people were scared, they didn't know what to expect, and I got tweeted and retweeted almost 800,000 times, and it was all people having a great time at my expense, which I didn't mind at all. I'd rather have
You
people
know what?
laughing
I
and
thought it was
smiling.
great.
Huh?
I thought it was great, but it's kind of like, like a
Yeah,
Where's Waldo thing.
yeah,
Where's the Bruins guy? Bruins guy is at the City Hall thing. And you stood right out like a sore thumb.
yeah,
And then, Bruins guy is at TerraCon or whatever.
yeah. Oh, I'll
That
probably do
just,
that. Like
yeah, that's
when I
just
was
my
at,
suggestion.
when if I ever showed you my pictures from 2019, which was before the Bruins guy, but the picture I took with Kane Hodder, I had a Bruins shirt on,
Yeah,
and
there you go.
it was a hockey goalie wearing Jason's mask, and he loved that shirt. He's like, "Oh my God, that's is that a custom shirt?" I was like, "Well, it's custom to Boston Bruins fans." But yeah,
Well,
he had a Bruins jersey on. He had a Bruins goaltending. And he just had the Jason Voorhees mask.
Well, it was wonderful having you come on here tonight. I know we are supposed to do this in the morning, but I was like, I'm off Sunday night. I'm like, and Rob, I see is online because we talk
Yeah,
most of the time. We talk. It's uh overnight. So I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, because when I'm at work, and I got my headphones in, if somebody calls me, I can still work and communicate,
yeah.
you know. Yep. So I was like, yeah, Rob's online. I'm off, so obviously I can't do Zoom interviews while I'm at work, but this worked out kind of fun. So yeah.
And I just want to say one more thing to those who watch and listen to this. I'm Rob Mahoney, the Bruins guy, and you're listening to Python's Paradise. So tune in or get out.
There you go. Rob, you take care. I know you've had a rough patch visiting the hospital, but
Yep.
I hope they treat you better there than they treated me here, as an employee.
Well, like I said, Chucky would say, you can't keep a good guy down. That's me.
Well, you're still allowed to tag me in all your posts. I always get the stuff. I don't always get to react, but you're always welcome to tag me on any of that stuff, and I have no issue with it. So keep doing that, and yeah, keep in touch, and keep your chin up. I know you've been
Yep.
fighting some battles. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you've been fighting some battles, but we'll get through those.
All
Plus
right.
you
Well,
plus
thank
you
you for
can
having me for the fifth time. We'll see you next year.
yes, and you can keep annoying your sister too.
Always.
Take care, man. God bless.
Uh,
Bye bye.